Imagine living in a quiet, isolated farmhouse, far away from the hustle and bustle of the city. Life is peaceful, serene, until one day you start hearing strange noises in your attic. Footsteps echo above your head, but when you check, there's no one there. Then, your keys go missing, and weird things start happening around the house. It sounds like the setup for a horror movie, doesn't it? Well, unfortunately for the Gruber family of Hinterkaifeck, Germany, this wasn't a movie. It was their reality. In 1922, this small Bavarian farm became the scene of one of the most disturbing and perplexing unsolved murders in history. 6 people were found brutally murdered, and to this day, no one knows who did it or why. Welcome to the chilling mystery of the Hinterkaifeck murders, a story filled with eerie details, strange clues, and wild theories. And while this might sound like the perfect campfire tale, it's a true story, one that remains unsolved more than a century later. Grab a cozy blanket and maybe lock your doors, because we're about to explore one of Germany's creepiest cold cases. Let's set the stage. It's March 31st, 1922, in the quiet countryside of Bavaria, about 43 miles north of Munich. Hinterkaifeck is a small, isolated farm occupied by Andreas Gruber, his wife Cecilia, their widowed daughter Victoria, and Victoria's 2 children, 7-year-old Cecilia and 2-year-old Joseph. Also present is Maria Baumgartner, the family's maid, who had started working there only one day before the murders. For days, neighbors noticed something strange. No one had seen the Gruber family around the farm. The mail was piling up, and little Cecilia hadn't been at school. Finally, on April 4th, worried neighbors ventured to Hinterkaifeck to check on them. What they found would haunt the small village forever. Inside the barn, the bodies of Andreas, Cecilia, Victoria, and little Cecilia were found stacked on top of each other, brutally bludgeoned to death. In the house, Maria and Josef had met the same horrific fate. 6 victims, all murdered with a mattock. Yes, the murder weapon of choice was a farm tool. It's like something out of an Agatha Christie novel, only bloodier. As if the murders weren't terrifying enough, there was something even creepier about the crime. The killer, or killers, had stayed at the farm for days after the murders, feeding the animals, eating the family's food, and generally just making themselves at home. The neighbors, understandably, were horrified. The Gruber family wasn't exactly what you'd call normal. In fact, their lives were a bit of a mess. Andreas Gruber, the patriarch, was known around the village as a grumpy, unpleasant man. Rumors swirled about his relationship with his daughter Victoria. There were whispers of incest, and at one point, both Andreas and Victoria had been charged with it. But in rural 1920s Bavaria, these kinds of things were often swept under the rug.